In this video, I'm going to show you 3 unique methods on how to create VFX shots using Runway's First Frame feature. I have done loads of different tests, and I'll show you the best ways on how to get these amazing effects into your videos. Okay, let's get into it. So the first method I'm looking into is inpainting. Inpainting is just modifying specific areas of the video. For this first example, I'm going to turn my arm into a metal robot arm while keeping the rest of me the same as the original video. Before we get into the inpainting technique, I want to give you a quick rundown on what Runway's First Frame is. First Frame allows you to upload a video, and then it takes the first frame of that video, and then you can give it an alternative first frame in any style you want, and it will render that video out in that selected style. So to start off, I recorded myself in front of a green screen, or in this case a blue screen, in a few different poses. The reason I use a blue screen is it makes it easier to composite out the arm later on, and you get to change the background if you want to. This green screen I'm using is a foldable one. It's pretty cheap. It has green on one side and blue on the other, and it comes in really handy for shots like this. Now we're going to take that footage into a video editor. I usually use Premiere Pro, but in this case I'm using CapCut as it's a free video editor that you can download. So I've got my clip in here, and now I'm going to get rid of that blue screen. So I'll go to Video, Remove Background, and click on Chroma Key. Then just click on Color Picker, and select the color of the background. Adjust the settings until you get all of that background out. Then you can use the masking tool to get rid of any areas that are still in the shot. I like to add a solid color layer into the video just so it's easier to see the subject. I've exported that video, and now what we want to do is take the first frame of that video. I use VLC Media Player, and I've just made sure that I'm at the start of the video. Then I just right click the screen and click on Snapshot, and this will save that image to your computer. Now I'm going to turn my arm into a metal robot arm. There are a few different ways on how you can do this. You can either use Runway's image to image tool, you could use Midjourney's retexture tool, you could also use the image to image in design.ai, which is one that I've just recently been using and is quickly becoming one of my favorite methods. The great thing is with design is that you can select the area that you want to change. You put your prompt in here, and you can choose different styles. And you can get some really good results. If you'd like to check out this site, I've left a link to it down below. I've also been experimenting with ChatGPT's latest image generator, and it is pretty insane. So I gave it my image, I asked it to create metal armor and keep the image structure the same. And I think the result looks amazing. So definitely check that out if you've got access to ChatGPT 4.0. Or I could just design my own metal arm in Photoshop and use that instead. But my favorite method is using Magnific AI's structure reference tool. So I'm going to show you that method. Okay, we're on Magnific AI's website now, and I make sure that I'm on Mystic version 2.5. So we want to add in the structure reference image in here. I think it's fine to keep the structure strength at 50%. And I've given it a prompt of "man has metal robotic arms like Terminator." Now you can change your video into any style you want, and I'll be showing you how to do that later in this video. And you can choose between different resolutions, so I normally go for 2K. Now it does give you more options here, but I usually keep them at the default settings. So I'll click generate, and let's check out the results. So this is the result that I got, and I think the arm looks really cool. Now, what you will notice is that it has changed my face, but I'm not really too bothered because the only thing I want to keep in this image is the metal arm. Now, as you can see, when I slide back and forth, everything is in the exact same place as the original image, which is what we want for Runway's First Frame to work correctly. So the next step in this inpainting process is I'll download this image and we'll copy and paste this metal arm onto my original image. So for this, I'll use a free online photo editor called Photopea, which is pretty much a free Photoshop alternative. I've added that Magnific AI image on top of my original photo, which is in the background. And if I change the opacity, you can see it's underneath and in the exact same spot. So now I'm going to select his arm. And to do that, you want to use the Object Selection tool. And then I draw a box around the area that I want to select. So I just copy and pasted that arm layer. Then when I get rid of that magnific layer, you can see the metal arm is on my body. Cool, so now I've got the metal arm where I want it to be. We're going to take this into Runway. In Runway, make sure you're on this page. So you're on this text tab here and you've got the video mode selected there. I've dragged in that video of me, and down here you can see it's created that first frame, and in the restyled first frame, I've put that image of me with the metal arm. Then in settings, we have structure transformation. Now I usually keep this actually between 0 and 3. As the higher you go, the more it will kind of be creative and go away from your original image. But with this inpainting technique, we want it to be as close to the original footage as possible, as we're going to overlay them together, so we want the movement to be very similar. So I'll click generate and we can see the results. I'm really happy with the results. The arm and hand has stayed consistent throughout the shot. It's managed to track everything like my t-shirt really accurately. One of the problems with Runway's first frame is that the quality of the video does drop in certain areas. Like, as you can see, my face does change quite a bit from the original footage. So what I'll do now is I'll download this video and then mask it onto the original footage, just so that I keep all of that original quality. Now we'll take that footage into a video editor. So I'm using CapCut and I'll drop in that original footage and then the footage with the metal arm on top. And what I want to do is mask out this area so it's just got the metal arm and then the original footage with it. So I'll go to mask. I'll just choose a shape. And you can choose to feather it as well if you want that kind of bit more faded edge to it. Now, as you can see, the runway footage is a slightly different color as it adds a bit more contrast to it. So what we have to do is change the color of the original footage. So you can do that in the adjustment basic tab here. So if I just make that original footage a bit darker, then if I adjust the runway video of the arm, you can see they are blending together really well now. Now it's starting to look like the video is all one piece. And if we play it back, it looks really good. Now we have the quality of the original video on myself and the robotic arm video from Runway. And I'm really happy with the results. And because we got this blue background now, you can chroma key that out to add different backgrounds in. So I actually created one with a grey background. Then I had this idea of creating an advert for a robotic enhancement company. So I took this video and I placed it onto a billboard, and the results look awesome. And here is another video, but in this one I changed both my arms to metal, and I added a bit of camera movement into it. I am incredibly happy with how it turned out. The movement and animation on my arms is perfectly synced up to the original footage that I shot. This opens up a lot of possibilities for inpainting. I also decided to do some full body inpainting. As you can see, I've changed the whole outfit in the video, and I'm extremely happy with how they turned out. Even the small movements within the suit move in a really natural way, and it has some really nice light reflections on them. This does require some rotoscoping work, and there are a few ways that you can do it. Some really good options are Magic Mask in DaVinci Resolve, there is Rotobrush in After Effects, or you can use CapCut's brush mask feature, which I'll quickly show you how to use now. This is a pro feature within CapCut, but it is still cheaper than the other alternatives. So I've uploaded my Iron Man style video into CapCut, and this is the result I got from Runway. So as you can see, the face isn't perfect, so I want to replace it with my original face. So to do this, I'll go to Mask and make sure I've got this brush selected. You can also use the pen tool, but it will just take a longer time manually adjusting the mask. So with the brush tool selected, you can choose which part you want to mask. So I'm going to mask the body. So just do a rough selection, and then it will start processing and kind of guesstimate the area that you're selecting. Alright, so it's selected the armor, but it's also selected the head. So that's where you can use the quick erase tool. Then just keep making adjustments with the eraser tool to get it to the point where you're happy with the masking. Then I've placed that original layer of me just behind the Iron Man video, and I've keyed out that blue background from it. And now it looks like I'm in the suit. Then you can go and add a background as well. I can still see parts of my original video outside of the suit. So what you want to do is just add a mask so you've just got the face selected, and then it just gets rid of all those extra bits. Then you can choose to do some color correction on the layers to make them blend more seamlessly. And you get some really good looking results. And here's another quick example where I wanted to change the rims on my car, as they're looking a bit dated. So I wanted to put in some chrome rims. I just filmed this really quick video of me going around my car wheel, and then changed that frame in Magnific and wrote in chrome rims. Then I just masked out that chrome rim onto the original image and ran that through Runway, and this is the result. While it's not groundbreaking in any way, it does a really good job at tracking in the rim on the car wheel. As I move around, you can see it's tracked in really well to the car and it doesn't start moving around like crazy. If you were to track and animate this by hand, it would take quite a long time.
Oh, hey there. Just a quick note. If you're enjoying this video, it would be awesome if you could give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Okay, back to the video.
Now let's have a look at changing your video style. This is exactly what Runway First Frame was made for. Now I have already made a full-length video which breaks down turning your videos into different styles using Runway's First Frame. I do go into it with a bit more detail in that video, so if you would like to check that one out, I've left a link to it down below. I'll show you how I created that short video you just saw. I wanted to film two people fighting and I only had myself, so I actually filmed myself twice. I used the same techniques that I talked about before with removing the blue screen. I exported that video and I used that first frame and took it over to Magnific AI. I uploaded the first image of that video and gave it a prompt of a soldier holding a shield while being attacked by an alien with a battlefield background. And it gave me this result, which I think looks pretty sweet. Then I dropped that video into Runway and gave it that stylized frame from Magnific. And here's the result. You may have noticed that the video before was a bit of a wider angle in the video. So Runway has a really cool feature where you can go to expand video. So if your video is landscape, it will add a top and bottom to that video, and it created this vertical video. Then from here, you want to go to expand video again, and then it will add in those sides so that you get a much larger video to start with. Then what I like to do is actually crop in that original close-up video onto the expanded one so that it has that detail as well in the middle. And then what I did is I used Runway's Act 1 tool, which allows you to record your facial features and put that onto the character in your video. If you'd like to know more about that, I've created a video just on Act 1 and I'll also leave a link to that down below. Now I want to show you how you can make better quality videos. This is an example from another YouTube video I created, and I noticed one thing when I created those videos is that when there was fast moving action, as you can see here, the details get a bit blurred and smoothed out and it loses some of that fine detail. So this time I thought, what if I film it in slow motion? Then I can take that result and speed it up after to the normal speed. And the results I got were better. So I filmed myself in 60 frames per second with a high shutter speed. Most smartphones can actually film up to 120 frames per second, so you should be able to do this. I find the sweet spot to be around 60 frames per second, as Runway only allows you to give it 20 seconds of footage. Then after you take that footage from Runway and speed it back up to 24 frames per second, you'll be left with around 8 seconds of footage. So here's a version that I shot in 60 frames per second. I slowed it down by 50% and put that into Runway. Then I took the result out of Runway and sped it back up to 24 frames per second, and this is the result. If I pause it here where I'm moving quite fast, you can see the detail is much better than that other video I shot in 24 frames per second. So this is a tip if you're doing a lot of fast moving action and you want to retain as much detail as possible. I also did the same expand feature with this video here, and here's another prop that I created which I've used in many past videos. It's just of a simple cardboard gun, but here I wanted to create a kind of claymation style effect. So I ran it through Magnific and gave it a prompt of claymation. And it's created a really realistic claymation style image. And you can even see the fine details in the texture in the clay, which is really cool. When using it with Runway, it creates this awesome looking video. Then I did the same thing from before and expanded the video. I was blown away with the expanded video results. And as you can see here, it's added someone's hand into it, like it's playing with a toy, which I thought was really smart. And then I took it even further and expanded again from that expanded video, and it's done an amazing job at filling out the rest of the video. So you can have a ton of fun with changing the styles of your video, as this took it to places that I never thought it would go. I've tested out loads of different styles, so here is a montage of some of my favorites. Oh man, this sucks. I really need to get a new job. Now let's have a look at compositing. Compositing is when you seamlessly blend live action footage with digital assets. It is similar to inpainting, but compositing is usually used to blend things within an environment. You normally see it on films like set extensions, like adding buildings in the background, or adding things to a scene. For this first example, I just shot this short video of me by my house on this bridge, and I had this idea of creating a kind of destroyed part of the bridge. So what I did was take the first frame of this video and I used Adobe's generative fill. You don't have to use generative fill, you can just find a PNG of a hole and place it onto that image and it should have a similar effect, but I like generative fill as you're just able to select the area and then type in what you want. So for example, this is on Adobe Firefly, so I'm using the generative fill feature, and you can select the part of the bridge. I put into the prompt destroyed and it gave me some different results. Now you can keep generating more as some of them don't come out that great, but I found this image which I really liked, so I've uploaded that video into Runway, and then I've taken that frame with the bridge with the hole in it and put it in the restyled first frame. And here is the video, which I think looks awesome. Now you might notice some glitching around the video, but I'm actually going to mask all of that out so that we have the original video around the hole. But I'm really impressed with how it's come out. I purposely filmed it quite slow and just kind of moved side to side. You can see that Runway has done a really good job at keeping the consistency in that hole. It shifts realistically with the perspective, and I'm really happy with it. This would be quite a tough thing to do if you were to do it all by hand. You'd have to kind of model maybe a 3D section of the bridge and map it perfectly. But this literally took like 5 minutes. So this is the version of the video where I've masked out the rest of the video. And I'm really happy with it. It's really good for set extensions as well. So traditionally in films, they would create a matte painting where they would add extra things into the background of the shot. I live in Christchurch, and after the earthquakes, there's not many tall buildings around now. So I just shot this short video of me at an intersection, and I thought, could I add some buildings into the shot? So I took the first frame, I added in a few taller buildings using generative fill, and then took that into Runway and got this video. So it's done a really good job again at getting the perspective right, and it shifts and moves naturally. I did the same process that I did with the bridge video, and I created a mask to fit in with the original footage, just so we have a lot of that original detail retained in the final shot. Sometimes you can just keep Runway's final video and it looks great. Here's another similar shot where I got this stock footage of someone walking down a street. Then I used Magnific to change the first frame into this, so it has that apocalyptic feel. Then when I used a mask to fit it in with the original footage, it came out like this, which I was really pleased with. This example here was inspired by the Indiana Jones shot where they extended the warehouse. So I created an extension of the warehouse using generative fill. Then when taking that into Runway, it does a really good job at creating that kind of extended warehouse look to it. Here's another really cool example. So I've got this drone shot flying over a piece of land by the sea, and I wanted to add some spaceship parts that have crash landed. And then for the spaceship parts, I actually went to Midjourney to create these images. I then cut them out and pasted them into the first frame of the drone footage video. So it looks like parts of a ship has crash landed onto this bit of land. I added in some smoke elements, so I thought hopefully Runway would animate it so it looked like it was burning. When I ran it through Runway, I got this awesome result. So as you can see, the smoke is moving and it's got the waves crashing into the ship as well. I was very impressed with this result, so you can add elements like this one, like smoke and dust, and Runway should notice these elements and animate them in the final video. I actually wanted to create a really short film about weird objects that have crash landed down on Earth. So here is that video using these compositing techniques. This just in. Mysterious objects have appeared simultaneously in cities across the globe. Eyewitnesses have described them as emitting a low hum. Authorities are urging the public to keep their distance as scientists work to identify their origin. Stay indoors, stay alert, and stay tuned for further updates. I was really happy with how that video turned out. And as you can see on screen, we have the original footage and then the footage which I composited the digital assets into. I think they turned out really well. You can see they look really natural in the environment. So as you can see, it can be a powerful tool in compositing assets into your videos. Now let's have a quick look at the pricing of the tools that I've been using. So with Runway, they have a few plans to choose from, and they're not that cheap, to be honest. It's good that you can test out some features with the free version, and the standard version is pretty good, but you won't get many generations if you're doing a lot of video work. Now, if you do have a big project, I would probably recommend to get the unlimited and just do it for a month, and get all of your work done in that time. And with Magnific AI, again, it's not super cheap, but you could do what I said before and just use it for 1 month only and get everything you need done in that time. The results from Magnific are incredible, but I did wish that they had a cheaper option. Another one that I would thoroughly recommend is Design AI, as they have some friendlier price plans, and I've been really happy with the results. And with CapCut Pro, they do a monthly version from $9.99 a month, which I think is a great price point for what you're getting. So I've left a link to these down below if you want to check them out. So we've reached the end of this video, and I hope you've learned something and you can go on and create some awesome effects in your videos. It's an incredibly versatile tool, and I'm still figuring out new ways on how to use it. So make sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date with all the latest videos. I've left links down below to videos that relate to this one, so make sure to check them out. Thanks for watching.